So my first car ever was junior year of college. I remember this because all the upperclassmen had cars, all the younger kids didn't, and the way it worked was I played Ultimate Frisbee, and if you're on the team, every time we go to a tournament, we'd all pack up in one of the upperclassmen's cars and go for a road trip. And when all the seniors graduated, we lost all their cars, and so we needed some people to get new cars. So when I got up to being a junior, I needed to get a car that was decently comfortable, could fit a bunch of people, and had decent enough gas mileage. And so I ended up with this, a used red Toyota Camry XLE. This is a 2014. These are the actual pictures I took of that thing the day I bought it. So now to this day, whenever I see a red Camry from around this year, I think of mine. And I averaged 37.5 miles per gallon lifetime with that thing. It was sick. And I remember that because I played the little efficiency graphic in the screen in the front of the car like a video game. Like I wanted to max my high score. Like if I got downhill enough for a long enough drive, I could get into the 40s. 40 miles per gallon? It was crazy back then. That was my idea of fun as a college student. Anyway, this is the newest Toyota Camry. And so I figured I'd sort of take a look back at my first ever daily driver and how far it's come in the last decade, because Toyota, as you know, has been sort of, some might say stubbornly, focusing on hybrids instead of doing electric cars. And I mean, you might have seen my Prius video. It's kind of what they do. They are getting really, really good at hybrids. And so let's take a look at how far this Camry has come in the last decade, because it's basically a whole new car. Now, when you see a Camry on the road, the proportions of the thing have not changed that much. Like the general shape and size is very much still Camry. I'll talk about some of the extra trim bits on this one in a second, but inside, you're looking at a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, and there's actually 3 electric motors. There's 2 at the front and 1 at the rear, so it can actually drive all-wheel drive on electric power only. And when you combine that gas and electric, it's 232 combined horsepower. That's not actually that little. That's surprisingly peppy. I'll talk about that too. It's a 1 kilowatt hour battery, and it's rated for 44 miles per gallon highway. So on a full tank, that's something like 550 miles. The Camry's main goal is definitely still to be the economical option, and starting at $28,000, it very much is still firmly planted there. But what's funny is you can definitely still option up a Camry maybe higher than you expect. If you were to guess how high you can spec a brand new Camry, you might be a little low. Similar to speccing an iPhone 16e up to the max storage and paying $900 for it, I don't recommend this, but you can spend $50,000 on a brand new Camry. I think this XSE trim starts at like 35 grand or something like that. So don't do that, but at the base price, starting lower, economical option still. Now, I'm gonna be totally honest, I think the new Camry looks really good. Similar to how this bird up here looks way better than your average seagull, this car looks way better than your average older Camry. It's got this nice grille up front here, kind of blocks out some of the sides, but then has a little second arrow feature. I like that. That's a reflector. There's your headlights, similar to the Prius's look. I think it's nice. You come along to the side here, it's obviously the gray color and you kind of see the red seats, so that's kind of cheating, but nice wheel design. You flow down the sides, you've got some nice shapes, and then the black roof color. So this trim bit here kind of gives the car a bit of a sleeker, lower look, if you ask me. And then XSE trim, okay, you've got this little baby spoiler thing. They don't want to actually put a real spoiler on it because you still need this car to slip through the air and be very efficient. But, you know, black contrast, that kind of looks nice. And then look down here, look, dual tailpipes, not bad. Lots of nice lines on this car. Dare I say even sporty, a little bit. Look at that diffuser down at the bottom and this black trim. It's not the point, obviously, but here, let's get into the practicality features, because if you hold down that trunk, it will automatically open up all the way. And yes, it's a Camry, so it's got a nice full-size trunk and nice spare. So you're never gonna be out in the cold without that. Obviously, the trunk is important for a Camry. And this would absolutely still qualify if I was trying to get a car like this today, because look at this interior. This is gonna remind you a little bit of the Prius, but a lot of Toyota cars all look pretty similar in this way. Now, this is a bright red leather interior. And I like it a lot. It looks sick. The car that I had a tan cloth interior, which was also totally fine. A little harder to clean, but it lasted, it did the job. But you can option up a Camry with this like nice red leather and this these accent pieces and the speakers integrated and more speakers down here. And even though there's a lot of plastic, it does actually feel a bit more premium if you're into that. But then, yeah, all the other things that you know and love about a Camry, well, they're all still here. It kind of feels like I've optioned up a mid-range phone to cost $1,000, where I've gotten a whole bunch of extra features brought down from the world of premium devices, but I also kind of still have the bones of the economy option. So you do have a wireless charger here. It fits like the biggest phones, so that's great. You got some storage there, 2 cup holders, plenty of storage in the middle. Love to see that. And you've got all the drive modes right here. This is basically all you really play with when it comes to driving the Camry. Obviously your gear selector, but EV only mode if you want that. Brake hold you can turn on, and then switch between eco, normal, and sport. Now if you're a gamer like me, and you're trying to get the max efficiency score, there you go, eco score, you basically can read this as you're driving. Your startup, your cruise, and your stopping are all factors that affect how good your mileage will be. So as you start up and you accelerate really smoothly and nicely, that'll be good. You'll mostly use the electric power. And if you go above a certain power threshold, then the gas motor kicks in. You can play with that and you can get to really, really good skill levels at getting the maximum mileage. Similar to the Prius again, I think Toyota's software here is really good. You can obviously pair your phone, but then you have all these physical controls here which do a good job. So your seat cooling or heating, but not at the same time. Temperature up and down, fairly intuitive. Fan speed up and down. You hear the gas motor kick in when I do that. And then you have your power down here. So 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. Look, you got even like these metal pedals, and you have this big sunroof. Like there are a lot of premium features, heated steering wheel, premium features in this car, despite it still being the economy car option. Now here's one of my favorite newer features my old car didn't have. A lot of EVs nowadays, when you let off the accelerator and you start to regen or slow down, the brake lights turn on. Even though you're not putting your foot on the brake, you've let off the accelerator and started to slow down, so the brake lights will turn on and light up to know that the car behind you can see that. Similarly, they all have screens that show the car in them, so a lot of them will light up the brake lights on the little car on the screen in front of you. This one doesn't have a little screen showing the car, but if I go ahead and hit that brake pedal here, boom, you see these little red lights here. That's how you'll know your brake lights are on. So anytime you slow down with enough regen or hit the brake pedal, you'll see the red lights turn on and you'll know that your brake lights are on. So in case you were wondering if the brake lights were actually on, you'll always be able to tell. Now, one more thing that's way better about this new Camry than the old one, the cameras are way better, which shouldn't be a surprise for 2025, but they are. Now, if I hit that camera view button, it starts doing this like weird 360 animation thing. I'm not sure why it plays that every time, but if I just put the car in reverse, hits up that rear camera and an overhead top-down 360 view, you can see everything here. You can correct for distortion or show the ultra-wide version. You can show different lane markings or turn them off completely. This is great. I am definitely guilty of being one of those people that can only park with cameras. So I was very happy to have the cameras back then, and they're even better now. Okay, let's check out the back seat, because if you are going to be transporting people, you want to at least have a decent enough legroom. Maybe if you're transporting ultimate Frisbee athletes or college kids that are somewhat tall, you'd care about this. So for the back here for a road trip, honestly, very acceptable. I've been in the back seat of my own car many times, and this feels very similar. The fact that everything is bright red, I'm also definitely liking that. But you also have this glass up here, which I believe, yeah, you can motor this open or closed, which is nice. Some nice storage here, your vents here, no screens needed, and some power with USB-A or USB-C. The shape of the Camry means the sloping roofline kind of cuts in a little bit, and they have these cutouts over each seat to give you a little bit more headroom. But if you're tall like me, you could find, or at least if you have a lot of hair like me, you could find that you are up against the ceiling. Honestly, not a horrible amount of headroom, but something to keep in mind. I think I would have still been very tempted by this car if this exact type of spec existed back in 2014. Now, driving the car itself, obviously you're not buying this as a performance car, it's not a sports car, but I will note that a highlight of it is, one, it rides very well, it's very comfortable, the suspension is tuned to just be a cruiser, and it's a lot peppier than I remember. which must mean it is quicker. 232 horsepower is not going to blow anyone's mind, but because of the electric drivetrain and the hybrid system, Toyota's got this tuned where if you move that pedal down a little bit, you can sort of zip up and into spots and out of spots very, very easily. It's got some pep to its step, which is exciting. I did not expect that of this car, but it pulls that off really well. So it's comfortable, the suspension rides well, and it's got some pep. So look, I get why Toyota continues to do the hybrid thing, because number one, they've gotten really, really good at it. Number two, they've also kind of committed to it. Like, they do make that one EV that I reviewed that's not very good. But they've kind of got this whole range of cars now at a bunch of different price points where they can offer you something that's gonna make sense and economical and get you a ton of miles per gallon. And that's what everybody wants. So I'm a fan of this new Camry. I love that there's new sensors everywhere and there's new, adaptive driving features and a lane keep assist and stuff like that. As someone who went on a ton of road trips, I would have loved to have had that in my car back then, but it's 2025, so now someone else in my position will love that too. And I think it looks pretty good. Maybe I'm biased because I've liked Camrys in the past, but well done, Toyota. Keep making good cars like this. All right, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.